Hi friend, it's time for the movement part of this end of the year mini series. So roll out your mat and maybe take off a layer of clothing because we're gonna move quite a lot. So in this series, there's a meditation, an intention setting journaling practice, and this flow. So you can do them together as a little ritual for the new year, or you can just do this class by itself anytime where you feel like you want to practice with a lot of twists and some balancing postures in there as well. So yeah, I hope you're gonna enjoy. I'm gonna come and start seated on your mat. So please find a comfortable seated pose. It can be with your legs crossed or it can be on your knees. You can even sit up on a chair here to start. I also have a little pillow just to show you if you want to. You can have a pillow or a block and sit up on. Just helps to lift the hips a bit higher than the knees, and it can help to sit more comfortably with a tall spine. So just find your seat. Find your breath. And we're going to start today with some seated cat and cows with our Garudasana or eagle arms. So take your right arm underneath your left arm and palms together or back of the hands together or opposite hand to opposite shoulder if that feels better for you. Wherever you are, see if you can lift your elbows in line with your shoulders, fingertips pointing up. Then from here with your inhale, lift your arms, look up. Open your chest. Exhale, rounding through the spine. Let your elbows come towards your navel, chin to chest. Moving with your own breath here through a few cat and cows. Warming up the spine, the shoulders, and starting to link our movement with our breath. Take one more inhale. And then open your arms into a twist towards your left. So right hand on your left knee, left hand behind you, look back. Staying in the twist, maybe growing taller through your spine with your inhale and opening a bit more on your exhale. Keep this subtle movement going with your breath. It's just a tiny shift of lengthening and opening with every inhale and exhale. Let your next exhale guide you back to center. And this time, take your left arm underneath your right arm, hook your palms to the back of the hands or grab your shoulders again. Find your variation on this side. See if you can lift your arms here, lift your spine, a little engagement in your core. And then take an inhale, lift your heart, look up. Exhale, round. Moving with your own breath. Seeing how this variation in your arms feels. Feeling how your spine feels. Your next inhale be the last in this flow, and exhale to open to the twist to the other side. So right hand behind you, left hand on your right knee. Again, little sensation of lengthening through the spine as you inhale, maybe opening your heart towards the side more as you exhale. Both sit bones are grounded down. And then come back to center and just roll over your knees. We're gonna come into a downward facing dog. So if you're facing the long edge of your mat, like I am, and move around so you can place your hands onto the mat and lift your hips. Find your position in your dog. And you can walk your legs out here, bending a knee at a time. I like to bend the knee a lot and then send the hips out to that side. And then changing. It also feel nice to say yes and no with the head, to release through the neck. And then see if you can find your drishti or your gaze between your thighs or up towards your navel. In yoga, we use the breath to help us focus, but the gaze is also a really great tool. And it's called the drishti, the gaze. The focus point that we have with the eyes in every pose. One more breath here. And then look towards the front of the mat and start to walk your feet to the top. As many steps as you need to here, landing in your forward fold, feet hip width distance to start. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. And start to bend the knees and roll up through the spine all the way up to standing. Maybe take a big shoulder roll as you come up. Find your mountain pose. Open your palms forward, micro bend in your knees. Engaging through your core, tucking your tailbone slightly here, closing through your rib cage. If you haven't already done so, you're welcome to introduce your Ujjayi breath here, so you get that ocean sound at the back of your throat with your exhale. There's a little restriction at the back of the throat. I'm going to take 2 sun salutations here to just get ourselves flowing with the breath even more. Inhale, lift the arms, look up. Exhale, fold down. Halfway lift, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to plank. Take an inhale in your plank. And exhale, lower your knees and come all the way down, elbows close to your body. Release the feet, inhale, cobra. Exhale down, tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Maybe exhaling through your mouth as a way of releasing what has been. What you no longer want in your life, what no longer serves you. Inhale to look towards the front of the mat. Step 1, big step up, or you can even jump lightly. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Fold back down, exhale. Inhale, root to rise, arms up, forward, lift. Exhale, straight back down, 1 more round. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, maybe take a little jump back to plank this time, landing softly. Inhale in plank. Exhale, lower the knees, come all the way down. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, lower, tuck your toes, lift your hips up to a downward facing dog. Back to those cleansing breaths. What no longer serves you? What do you want to release to make room for new? Take 1 more breath. And then look forward here. Maybe take a little hop towards the front. Landing lightly here. And from here, lift halfway. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale all the way up to standing, hands leading the way. Exhale, hands to heart center. And open the palms by the sides of your body here. Come back to your breath. Maybe remind yourself of your intention for the upcoming year. And we're going to come into our flow here where we're going to play with twisting as a way of releasing, balancing as a way of finding balance moving forward, and also moving around the mat as a way of playing with time here. It's a playful practice, but also a strong one. Feel into your body and do what feels good for you here. So from our mountain pose, Tadasana, you can open your eyes back and take an inhale and sit low, hands touch the mat and lift up chair pose. 1 breath here. And then use your next exhale to lower your arms down, hands in front of your heart center. Inhale here. Exhale, twist to your left, hooking your right elbow outside your left knee, looking up. And from here, look down towards the mat. Start to lift your right foot and take a big step back. If you wobble, that's good. I'm wobbling too. Finding your twisted lunge here. Hands striving to be in front of your heart. Maybe look up here as well. Staying with your breath. One more inhale and exhale. Then inhaling into high lunge, lift the arms here, reach up, sink low into your front knee. Settle into your pose. You can have a little bend into the back knee if that helps you tuck your tailbone more. Don't want any pressure on the lower back. One more inhale. One more exhale. Release the arms down, clasp them behind you, lift your heart. And come down into humble warrior here. If you want to place the back heel down, you can do so. Releasing the head on the inside of the front knee. It can also help to make more space between the feet, walking the front foot out to the side slightly. Your hands can be like mine up towards the ceiling or towards the front of the room over your head, or you can keep them down onto your lower back. Be mindful of your shoulders. One more breath. And then release the hands and start to walk into a wide-legged forward fold. Toes towards the long edge of the mat. Slightly inwards here, so the heels are out. And release the head down. Hands can be in line with your feet or under your shoulders. Just take a moment and hang here. If you want to, you can find some flow in your legs by bending one knee at a time. Just letting your upper body hang from side to side here. Or you stay still. Yogi's choice. One more breath in your fold. Start to walk towards the back of the mat. So your right toes point back, left heel back. You can come up onto the back toes or have your heel down. I'm going to find our humble warrior on this side. Coming up first to inhale and open your chest. Exhale, fold down. If you haven't already done so, you can clasp your hands the opposite way around just to see how that feels. Really letting the top of the head go on the inside of the knee. Again, you can play with the space you have between your feet by walking the front foot out towards the side. You can have the back heel up or down. One more breath. Inhale to lift up, release the hands. High lunge, come up on the back toes. And stay here and breathe. Maybe sink lower into the front knee. Again, you can bend the back knee if that helps you to tuck your tailbone under. Support your lower back, engage your core. Inhale here. Exhale, hands down in front of your heart. Take an inhale here, start to lean forward. Exhale, twist to the front leg and hook your elbow again. So we're reversing the flow, moving the other way around on our mat. Maybe looking up here over your top shoulder, stable through your legs. And look down and take a big step in with your left foot to meet your right foot into your twisted chair pose. The left hip moves back here in space. One more breath. Sit a little bit lower with your hips. And then lift up into chair, inhale. Exhale, hands through heart center. Open into your standing pose. Settle into Tadasana here. You can close your eyes. I'm getting really warm. It's partly from the fire, but also from the movement. I hope you feel it too. One more breath in stillness. And then open your eyes. Inhale, sink low with your hips again. Lift your arms up. Exhale, hands in front of your heart center. Inhale here. Exhale, twist towards your left again, hooking your right elbow on the outside of the left knee. And send that other hip back so the right hip strives back. Take an inhale here and start to lift your right foot. Find balance, slowly step back. If you wobble, that's great. If you fall, that's even better. Come back in your own tempo. Twisted, high lunge. Inhale into your high lunge, reach your arms up. Exhale, warrior two this time. So we're changing up the flow. Take a breath in your warrior. And start to lean forward and walk the back foot in if you need to. We're going to lift into half moon. Plant the left hand. Lift the right foot. You can look down towards the floor or you can look up towards that top hand. Keeping the right foot flexed, toes out to the side. Breathe here. If you want to play with your balance, maybe look down and lift your bottom hand away from the floor. Maybe moving that hand into your heart space. Can you lift the back leg a bit more? One more breath. I am falling. Stay with your breath and your drishti. And slowly we're going to start to close the hips here. When I come into warrior three, you can release both hands down to set up the back leg. Toes are pointing down now towards the mat. So we've closed the right hip down. And from here, start to lift one hand in front of your heart center and the other hand in front of your heart center. Stable here. Be pushing a wave through the standing leg. Growing tall through it. One more breath here. And slowly see if you can keep your balance on your left foot as you come up, right knee into your chest. And we're going to find our full eagle pose. Sinking into the hips, crossing the right leg over the left. The right toes can be on the side of the left foot or lifted, or start to hook the foot around the left calf, if that's in your practice. Hands are in front of the heart center here. You can stay with them here or start to reach them forward and take your right arm under your left. So opposite way of the legs. Palms together, back of the hands together. You choose again, just like in the beginning of the practice. Maybe sit lower into your hips. You lift your elbows in line with your shoulders. And then see if you can keep the balance on your left foot as you release the pose and start to open into that wide-legged forward fold towards the other side of the mat. Hands onto your hips. Inhale. Exhale, fold down. Again, toes slightly turned inwards here. You can find the same variation with the hands in line with the feet, or you can hold on to the outside of the feet or your ankles, elbows pointing out to the side. Of course, if you want to come into tripod headstand here, if that's in your practice, you can do so. But if you're holding on with your hands on your feet, you can just help yourself here by pulling a little bit gently into the arms, making the top of your head come down more towards the mat. So you're moving into the fold a bit deeper, using your own hands here. One more breath. Hands come back down under your shoulders. If you're up in tripod headstand, please come back down, meet us in the forward fold. We're all going to take a halfway lift as we inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, start to come towards the front of the mat again, so the right toes come out to the side. And walk your hands around and start to lift up onto the back leg, knee into your chest. So left knee into your chest. Hands in front of your heart center. Sit low into eagle on the other side. We're reversing the flow. Hook your foot or keep your toes on the ground. Come into your arm variation here. This time left arm underneath your right arm and lift up. Okay, sit a little bit lower. Maybe lift your arms a little bit higher. Find one place to look at that doesn't move. That will help you with your balance. Drishti and breath. One more breath here. And then start to come out of the pose, hands front of your heart center again as you kick that left leg back into warrior 3. Again, lifting through the standing leg, growing tall. Hips are square down towards the mat as much as you can here. Maybe dropping the left hip down a little bit more. And then from here, take your right hand onto the mat. Start to open your hips into half moon. So hips open to the side, chest open to the side, and when you're ready, you can lift that left arm up as well. Remember the variations here. You can play with your balance by lifting the bottom hand. You can play with your gaze by looking up or down. Stay with your breath. Can you lift the back leg a little bit higher up, flexing the toes out to the side? One more inhale. Then start to bend in the balancing leg as you step back. Warrior 2, lifting the arms up, landing in your pose. Take a breath here. And then come to high lunge. Left arm travels forward, lifting up. Inhale here. Exhale into that twisted high lunge. Hooking your elbow outside the right knee. And then looking down towards the mat. Start to come up onto the front leg as you step the left leg in. Moving slowly here. Sit lower into your twisted chair. And then inhale to lift your arms. Exhale, come to standing, hands in front of your heart. Open your palms by the sides of your body. Stay in your mountain pose with closed eyes. And from here, we're going to come into a movement that will just release this flow that we just did, anything that came up for you, and anything again that you want to release from this year to make room for new. So if you have your feet together, you can separate them here. Feet hip width distance apart. Open your eyes and inhale, lift your arms. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, come up. This time only arms. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, upper body. Inhale up. You can bend your legs here. Exhale, arms. So we're alternating, folding our entire body and only the arms. It will help with not making us too dizzy. Every time you exhale, just imagine yourself releasing something here, throwing it away that you no longer want. Just let it go. You can move slower than me. You can move quicker. Find a rhythm with your breath. If you want to take it really fast, you can. A few more rounds here. Next time you release the arms, just come to stillness again. And close your eyes back down. Just take a moment here to notice how this flow and movement felt, how you're feeling. Where your body's at, where your mind is at. And with your next inhale, open your eyes back up. And from here, lift your arms over your head. Come up to balance on your tippy toes here. One more inhale. And exhale, start to bend in your knees as you sink your hips all the way down. And come to seated here. Maybe shift your hips back a little bit so you have space for your legs in front of you. Flex your toes. We're going to come into a forward fold here as our final pose of the practice. Take an inhale and grow tall through your spine. Maybe lift your arms once more here. Exhale, start to lean forward from your hips. And then release your arms. You can just rest your arms by the legs or grab a hold of your legs or your feet. I like to just walk my hips back a little bit to create more space here. Starting here by keeping your spine tall, heart moving forward. Inhaling to really grow tall through your spine. Exhaling, maybe coming down closer with your heart towards your legs. And then use your exhale to release everything into a fold. You can round your spine. See this pose as a way to come back to yourself. So we calm the body back down after the movement. Forward folds together with intentional slow breaths are a beautiful way to signal to our body that we're safe, that it can relax. One more breath here in your fold. And start to come up with your upper body. And just roll all the way down and into Shavasana. Let your feet move out to the sides, toes just release to the sides, palms facing up. Find a final moment here in stillness to let your body and mind reap the benefits of the practice. So let go of your controlled breath here and let your body sink into the mat, the floor. Enjoy this final moment. I encourage you to stay here for a few minutes. This is where I'll leave you today. Thank you for joining me on the mat. I hope to see you very soon.